Welcome to the Verdin Sports Show. I'm your host, Jacob Verdin. I got my guy G in here. A little post-Thanksgiving stream. G, how you feeling, bro?
Feeling good, man. Ate a lot of turkey, a lot of soul food yesterday, man.
What was your favorite, bro? Come on, you got to give me the best dish, best dessert. Yeah, I'm going to leave it at that.
Strawberry cheesecake from scratch.
Damn.
And the best dish probably was the stuffed macaroni. Yeah, so it was stuffed with bacon, jalapenos, and like some kind of like turkey chicken type deal. My auntie made it really good. It was her first time making it this year.
Shout out auntie, man. Hats off. You got it right, man. Bring it back next year. Come on.
Yeah, I brought a lot of it home for leftovers.
That's the best part of the holiday, bro. This is why I feel like Thanksgiving is so underrated. When I was younger, like I didn't appreciate it as much, but as I've grown older and I've had to be the one to cook, oh, bro, I appreciate this. My guy Dame is saying early show caught me off guard, bro. We had to get it active for you. The egg bowl's coming up at 11. All kind of stuff. We can't be keeping y'all off the stream. Let's jump right into it. The man of the hour, Lane Kiffin. This is who will be coaching one of the teams in the Egg Bowl. G. I feel like all eyes are going to be on him. They've been on him for about a month. I mean, I went back and I counted the amount of streams we've done. I think we're at like 14 streams talking about head coaches, coaching carousel, Brian Kelly, Lane Kiffin, this, that, the other, the third. I feel the same way that I feel now. I know we've had a lot of things change. Eli Drinkwitz signed an extension with Mizzou yesterday. Clark Lee this morning signed an extension with Vanderbilt. What do you think about that? Do you think that this could potentially put LSU in a little bit of a pickle, finding a replacement, if Lane Kiffin does not decide to come to LSU like we've hypothesized?
Yeah, because I think they all in on Lane Kiffin, man. I think that from what I've been hearing, they haven't really been talking to other candidates or pursuing any other candidates. So that just leads me to believe that if they don't get Lane Kiffin, they're gonna be scrambling around and they're gonna end up getting a head coach that we're not even thinking about. I talked to somebody this morning. I know Matt Campbell name came up from Iowa State. No disrespect to Matt Campbell. I think he's a solid coach. He's done a good job considering the school he's at Iowa State. But I don't think that would be a fit at LSU in my opinion. So if they don't get Lane, bro, I don't know why Kelvin Shepard's name has not came back up. I don't know what's the reason behind that. For people that don't remember who that is, that's the defensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, played linebacker at LSU, got drafted in the 3rd or 4th round by the Buffalo Bills. Had a pretty solid career in the NFL, and he's been doing really good in the NFL as a defensive coordinator with the Lions, and when he was a position coach, and I want to say he did quality control under Ed Orgeron when Ed was the coach. So I think he's somebody. If they don't get Lane Kiffin, they're gonna have to go back and see if they can get him to be interested in the job. Now, will he take it? I don't know. When I heard him talk about it in his press conference when they asked him, he kind of dodged the question. But he gave a passionate answer about what the next head coach needs to look like. So we'll see.
Yeah, and I feel like dating back to last week when we first started entertaining the idea of Lane Kiffin not being a coach, a lot of people were like caught off guard by it. But I mean, I'm gonna double down on what we said because I feel like this could be a blessing in disguise and cycle back to the rumors of $93 million and obviously what Tyrann Mathieu said, which I never got to ask you about yet. I want to open the floor for that because he made a good point, bro. And I feel like there's such a value in having experience. Like, bro, he's in the locker room. And he's not just in a college locker room. He's in a Super Bowl winning locker room. If anybody has a pulse on what's a championship culture, I'm going to put my chips on a honey badger being able to figure it out. So him coming out saying, man, do we really want a guy that's showing us his disloyalty? That's a very good point. Like, bro, he's in the middle of what he would theoretically want to build. So,
yeah, Lane has always been a wild card like that. I remember when he was at Tennessee, he left in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Dude left Tennessee in the middle of the night. Now, I know that was a long time ago. I think that was, 2010 or something like that. And he has changed a lot from his recent jobs. And he talked about it on a new documentary. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. He's very transparent, and he's gave a lot of credit to the Ole Miss community, the administration, and the people in that town that has played a huge role into how he's been able to change, how he stopped drinking, how him and his daughter relationship has gotten better since she's moved to Oxford. So I do not think he's the same person he was when he was when he was with the Raiders, when he got fired from USC, when he left Tennessee in the middle of the night. When Nick Saban told him to leave the program when he was the OC at Bama.
Yep.
I don't think he's that same guy, but I do think he's still a wild card. I do think he's a walking time bomb. I do think that his mind changes like the weather. You just, I feel like Lane's life is like a box of chocolates. You never know. You never know what you're gonna get. So I think Tyrann Mathieu makes a good point when he say, "Do you want to hire somebody that has shown that he cannot be loyal and leaving Ole Miss in the middle of a playoff race?" Some could look at it as being disloyal. Some could look at it as, man, look, he's trying to advance in his career. It just depends on how you look at it. I wouldn't crucify him for leaving Ole Miss to come to LSU, because of how the dates are set up, and that Lane wants to coach in the playoffs. That Lane don't want to leave these guys high and dry. But the way things are set up with the signing day, with the transfer portal, it has to go like this. And that's why Nick Saban went on a rant about college football need to change the dates, and so we would have situations like this in the future.
Yeah, I agree. And to your point about him being a wild card, I feel like that's been why I feel like I don't want to get my theoretical hopes up with this situation, because one, I don't think anybody knows but Lane. And I'm going to stand on that. Two, this they could change last minute, like you said. I mean, dude, he could. I'm hearing all kind of different things about cold feet or all these different scenarios. I want to bring up one more scenario that's been talked about a lot over the last 2 weeks, right? So this is a weird one to bring up, but Landry Kiffin, his daughter. Everybody's like, man, she's at Baton Rouge. She's at this. She's at that. She's doing this at Lady of the Lake. And like she's at an NIL booster meeting. Listen, that would make me a lot more optimistic if she wasn't dating somebody on the team. She's dating with Weeks, bro. Like, come on. That's where this is coming into play. And I get it. Like everything we're doing right now, we're talking about all the stuff Lane Kiffin's putting out, Jimmy Sexton. This is mind games, bro. 101. And I understand people are saying, well, he's getting the same money. It's not leverage. I feel like it has to start from somewhere. It's not, they're not just going to match the offer off of face value if they think he's not going to leave. He has to make them think he's going to leave. And then plus, it's not even about his contract. That's not even the money we're talking about. It's the money for the players, the roster. Yeah. And plus, I want to ask you one more question. Like, if he does leave and the Ole Miss does go on a playoff run, when he comes to LSU and you try to get players in that portal, how do you control that narrative? Because that will be a question asked. And in recruiting, I feel like that might be used against him.
I mean, you got to just hope he has some type of integrity to not pluck any of those players from Ole Miss to go wherever he's going. The Lane Kiffin that I've talked to about with other people, he is somebody that would do that. From what people that I know that know him, they say 100% he will take players from Ole Miss and bring them wherever he's going. Now we'll see. Him and the athletic director at Ole Miss, from what both of them say, sound like they have a really good relationship. Maybe he might have had an agreement to say, look, I'm not going to take kids from Ole Miss wherever I go. I don't know. But I know guys that have worked with Ole Miss. Worked with Ole Miss. Worked with Lane Kiffin in the past and know him. They say he will definitely take kids from Ole Miss, and they say it won't be a good look. So, is he wrong? No. Is it a bad look? And it's going to leave a bad taste in the fans and the administration at Ole Miss. It's going to leave a bad taste in their mouth, of course. But that's college football, bro. His job is to put the best product on the football field and win games. And if he needs players from Ole Miss to help him do that, I mean, can you blame him?
Hello, Trinidad Chambliss. That's where my mind went right away.
I don't think Trinidad Chambliss has any more eligibility.
Oh, I thought they were trying to figure it out. That's true, because he got that Fair State stuff. Wait, hold up. I got a question. So the D2, man, they should make the D2 like the JUCO stuff where it don't count toward that eligibility.
Yeah, I mean, don't quote me on that, but I know he was a senior. I know he's a
Yeah.
senior.
No, I
So
think you're right because Lane did mention something about Chandler's trying to get another year. I ain't gonna lie, I did hear
yeah,
that.
he's a,
I want to. I know we talked about Shepard potentially being a backup option. I want to pick your mind about Summerall and then the Frank Wilson thing because Jacques Doucette, WAB9's sports reporter, put out a package this morning with Harlan Berry's parents. They made a comment that I feel like resonated with me pretty well. They said that regardless of what happens, regardless of who's hired, they want Frank Wilson retained. If that happens, it seems pretty clear that Harlan Berry is retained. And that's one of the key players that I feel like you have to make sure that stays in LSU's roster. So, with that being said, what's your internal thermostat on those two candidates?
from somebody that's pretty close to the Florida and John Summerall situation. I'm hearing that John Summerall, if Florida doesn't get Lane, that John Summerall is going to take the Florida job. That's what
Okay.
I'm hearing. Um, will that change? I don't know, but a couple people that I talked to that's close to the Florida situation and close to John Summerall that he's supposed to be taking that job. So,
Interesting.
uh, as it pertains to Frank Wilson, I think it's a 90% chance whoever gets the LSU job will retain Frank Wilson. Uh, you would be stupid to come and take LSU job and get rid of Frank Wilson, who is the godfather of Louisiana. When you talk about recruiting, when you talk about understanding the state, when you talk about knowing the ins and outs of what goes on at LSU for as in administration, boosters, just the players, just how things go and the culture of LSU. You'll be a fool not to retain Frank Wilson. So I think Harlan Berry daddy should be pretty confident on Frank Wilson being retained. I think the only way Frank Wilson doesn't come back to LSU, the head coach that gets hired, it would have to be somebody he just doesn't want to work with. I don't think it's going to be a situation where a coach comes in and says, "Look, Frank, I'm not retaining you. You're gonna have to find a job." I don't see that happening. I think it would have to be Frank that doesn't want to work with that particular coach. And people got to realize too, man. Corey Raymond is somebody I think that needs to be retained as well.
Yep.
I think Corey Raymond is somebody that has put his time in. Former LSU player, right? He was the pioneer for the DBU, right? You got DJ Pickett on his roster. You got some good corners on his roster. Michael Turner,
PJ
um,
Williams.
yeah, Aiden Andy. You got some guys on his roster that has a huge upside. And so and the proof is in the pudding on who Corey Raymond is, right? The DBs looking really, really good compared to when Brian Kelly first got here. So I think those two guys are a shoo-in to stay at LSU and whoever gets the job. And if Lane gets it, he worked with Frank Wilson at Tennessee. So there's some familiarity there. You remember he talked about it on our podcast about how when Tyrann Matthew came to the camp, Lane ain't really believe in him. And then once Tyrann started balling at LSU, Lane calls him and says, "Man, you was right about Tyrann Matthew." So we'll see, man. I think LSU fans could let their guard down with man. Frank for sure will be retained.
And that's good because I mean, just look at the way that the team has responded to him as he's taking this. Like, bro, at the radio show, you got players pulling up on a Thursday night to go watch their coach talk at TJ Ribs. It's never happened before. Never. Not with Orgeron, not with Kelly. It's happened with Frank Wilson. And then during the press conference, I think it was Arkansas. Caden Durham goes in the middle of the press conference and daps up Frank Wilson at the podium. Once again, never saw that. I mean, look, the way that they respect him, the way that he treats them, just everything across the board. I don't think it's going to be replaced. So
Wait,
Frank Wilson
it
needs to
goes
stay.
back, but it goes back to what we was talking about originally when Brian Kelly first got fired, right? And I was advocating for Frank to get the job if he went 5-0 or if he went 4-1, and if you lost to Bama, was it a nail biter? It depends on how it looked when you lost.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think it's safe to say that Frank won't have an opportunity to get this job. That's just what that is. But Frank has always been the one behind the one behind the scenes that was making things happen, putting the fires out, handling situations with kids, their families, when kids got in trouble or whatever the case may be with their academics, tutoring, a lot of different things that goes on that people have no clue about. Frank Wilson was always the one that was taking care of that, right? It wasn't Brian Kelly, right? It was always Frank Wilson. Those kids on that roster know if they got an issue, they got a problem, they going to Frank Wilson. That's just what that is. And so when you got somebody like that on your staff that has that kind of respect from the majority of the players, and they understand that he's somebody that they can go to when they're going through something off the field, right? I think that holds a lot of value in my mind.
I love the coaches that do that too, bigger than sport, trying to make you a man off the field. Because I mean, if you can get an athlete to be disciplined and listen to you and build that connection, I feel like they're gonna ride for you like they do with Frank. It's more than X's and O's, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. So, last question about this: when do you like time frame? When do you think this decision is done by?
I think Sunday.
Tomorrow?
I think Sunday or Monday, LSU will have a head coach pick. I think it's gonna be that quick. I think if you let this play out into next week, you putting yourself in a bad situation, bro. I'm gonna just be real though. I don't know who the next head coach could be if it's not Lane Kiffin, if it's not Eli Drinkwitz, if it's not a John Summerall, if it's not a Kelvin Shepard. Like who else is out there that is credible enough to be able to take this job, bro? That's why I told somebody yesterday in my family, they was like, man, who will get the job? Who will get the job? I said, man, at this point, if Lane don't get it, I think it's gonna be somebody that we not even thinking about. It's gonna be somebody that's gonna come out the woodwork that gonna end up being the next head coach for LSU. I really believe that, bro. And they just don't have a lot of elite candidates out there that you could pick from, right?
Right.
When you talk about John Summerall, I like John Summerall. Got to know him when he was at Troy. Got to know him since he's been at Tulane. I think he's a really good coach, but it's still a question mark. Like you just don't know, will he pan out as a top tier SEC coach? You just don't know, right? James Franklin just took the job at Virginia Tech. He's proven, so he's out of it.
Yep.
Who else is out there? Dan
Nobody
Lannon not
really.
coming. You can't get Dan Lannon to come.
Lincoln
Right?
Riley ain't coming.
I don't even think Lincoln Riley would be a good fit, to be honest with you. If you can't get it done at USC, you damn sure ain't gonna get it done at LSU.
And then when he played at LSU at Oklahoma, he got bow raised.
Yeah.
Beyond belief.
And for everybody that's been getting on me on social media about, and I could take it, man. I got thick skin. But you know what I mean? This what makes sports so beautiful, bro. It's so opinionated. Everybody got an opinion, right? Everybody wants to poke their chest out and say what they think and what they know, and that's what makes this shit so fun. But this Lane Kiffin situation, if you're a true LSU fan, you remember this. This Lane Kiffin situation remind me of Ty Herman. I don't know if you remember Ty Herman. He was the head coach at the University of Houston, right? Hot name, offensive minded, was scoring a lot of points, right? The Texas job was open at the same time as the LSU job. And Ty Herman I remember being at this game. I forgot who LSU was playing. And everybody in the stadium, people I was talking to, they were saying, man, Ty Herman just accepted the LSU job. And everybody was like, damn, Ty Herman coming, Ty Herman coming, Ty Herman coming. When that was going on, I remember saying to myself the same thing I'm saying about Lane Kiffin. Ty Herman, I think he's a good coach, good offensive mind. He putting up points at the University of Houston. But I was just trying to figure out why people was trying to make such a big deal about Ty Herman coming to LSU. I was like, am I missing something? I don't understand why everybody making such a big deal. The same way I feel about Lane Kiffin. Well, Ty Herman changes his mind, goes to Texas. He didn't shit the bed, right? He had some average season. I think he won like 8 games one year, 7 games one year. I think he won 9 games one year. But having said all of that, he never reached the ceiling that Texas wanted him to reach. And they ran him out of town. And last time I checked, Ty Herman went to Florida Atlantic after that and had 2 losing seasons. And I don't even think he's coaching right now. Just saying, everybody made a big deal, fans, media, about Ty Herman potentially coming to LSU. And when he didn't come, everybody was like, "Oh my God, we didn't get Ty Herman." And I just couldn't understand why people make it such a big deal. So when I say stuff like that, people take it as I'm saying Lane is not a good coach and LSU shouldn't go after Lane. And that's not
Right.
what I'm saying. Y'all gotta have better comprehension skills, man. You know what I mean? Like, listen
Pick up
to
a
what I'm
book,
saying.
dog.
Yes, listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying, yes, you should be going after Lane. But we acting like this is a can't miss hire. It's not. This is a wild card. This is like going by a lottery ticket.
Literally.
This is not Nick Saban. It's not Urban Meyer. This is not somebody that you just know for sure gonna come here and put you in position to be in a national championship race year in and year out. You just don't know. You don't know.
No.
And that's the point I've been making this whole time. And for everybody that made such a big deal about the whole Eli Drinkwitz segment that I said, right? Well, Missouri must feel the same way I feel. Because guess what? Guess what? He's the sixth highest paid coach in all of college football right now. So they must
Yeah.
think the same thing I think.
Light job. Light job, G. Nah, honestly, look, I was
God
like
damn
back
it.
to one of the takes that you had early in the season. You're like, man, look, we got to be honest. We got to tell the people the truth. We can't tell them what they want to hear. And that's the
Yeah.
thing that people are missing, bro. I had somebody in the comments too, now that you mentioned it, just talking about like, man, y'all must hate LSU. Bro, no. Like, bro, I went to LSU. I'm an LSU alum,
Yeah.
bro. I
Just
would
gotta be
like to see
real, bro.
LSU win 100%. I don't want to put everybody in a situation where they just listening to this show just to hear LSU positivity. Like, bro, this is exactly how I feel. I think
We
Lane
not
Kiffin is
yes men. We
right.
not yes men.
Right. And sometimes it's gonna hurt. Sometimes you're gonna want to hear the positive. You don't want to hear the fact that LSU might get it behind. They don't want to hear the truth.
They don't hear
Sometimes
it.
the truth hurts.
They don't hear it. And
Sometimes.
look, LSU fans, the ones that's watching the stream, what you don't want to happen, don't turn into a Cowboys fan. Don't turn delusional. Don't turn to an unrealistic fan, man. And that's what LSU fans are trending to. You're trending to being a Dallas Cowboy fan. I hate Dallas Cowboy fans. They think they're gonna win a Super Bowl every year. They think they got the best team every year. Stop it, bro. We gotta be real.
Gotta be real. All right, G. I wanna switch to the top picks. I gotta make the graphic because you're 27-13. I'm 25-15. You still ahead by 2. All right. Before we get
Winners
off
win.
this, yeah. I think I might be screwed. I can't lie. This is a tough week, bro. We got easy. I feel like these two games that we're about to pick, we're gonna pick the same, and I might have to curveball you in the last one just to try to grab some ground. Hold up. We got Damon with the super chat, $5. He thinks Kalen DeBoer goes to Penn State and Kiffin might feel froggy and go to Alabama. That would make me do this. Head spinning. I'd be dizzy. I might pass out. This is
What I've
why
been
the
hearing
carousel makes me wild.
When I've been hearing the Kalen DeBoer to Penn State, why would you leave Bama to go to Penn State?
Facts.
It don't make sense to me. The only way that could remotely make me understand is if like he got some kind of a prior relationship with the athletic director or something to that degree, or he went to Penn State, which he didn't, right? It just wouldn't make sense. I know Matt Rule I think Matt Rule from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, he is. He is.
And I think he went to Penn State.
Yep.
Right? I just don't understand why would Kalen DeBoer leave Bama to go to Penn State. Maybe it's something behind the scenes I don't know about. I have no clue.
And to add to your point about Matt Rule, I ain't trying to speculate, but Dylan Raiola is expected to enter the transfer portal, so do it that as you will.
I heard that. Which I don't understand. Why would he do that? That wouldn't make sense to me.
Maybe he thinks this guy's portaling.
Yeah,
or not portaling, but son.
I know Kenny Dillingham. I forgot he's somebody else that could possibly be a candidate for the LSU job or the Florida job if Lane, whatever Lane decides to do. You know, which he's at his alma mater. Like he went to Arizona State, so I know it would be hard for him to leave, but I don't think that's a good fit with him coming to LSU or Florida. That's just my opinion. I remember Kenny Dillingham when he was at Florida State, when he was the offensive coordinator. Don't know him on a personal level, but I got to have some conversations with him quite a few times because He was on that staff when they recruited Ja'Kai Douglas to Florida State. So got to know him a little bit. Not on a personal level, but got to know him a little bit. I just don't think he'll be a good fit at LSU.
And I feel like this hire is going to be delicate because this is going to set the precedent for how LSU is looked for the next 3 to 4 years, regardless of what happens. Like LSU could be a contender and they could stay at the top of the conversation. But I mean, dude, if you go 8-4 again, you just continuously miss the mark, people are going to think of you as a mid-level SEC team.
Yeah. Joe Brady name.
I saw that.
Man, been talking about Joe Brady no more. Like, I'm gonna tell you somebody I would love to see LSU go after. Will Stein, the offensive coordinator at Oregon.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, I like Will Stein, man. Antonio Parks, who's on the staff at LSU right now, you know, he was at Oregon for a couple years, and he raves about Will Stein. The Corian Moore's mother, she talks really, really highly of Will Stein. And if you look at Oregon's offense, you know, he's calling the plays. And I think he has done a great job when you talk about Evan Stewart, who was supposed to be the number one receiver this year, towards Achilles in fall camp. They don't have him. The Corian Moore hasn't played in the last couple of weeks. And the offense is still rolling. Mm-hmm. He still got that thing rolling. So I think Will Stein is somebody that, you know, and it might not be this year. He might not have an opportunity to get a big job this year, but I think especially in the near future, maybe next year, right? I think Will Stein gonna be somebody that a lot of big schools gonna be going after.
My guy Damon in the chat said he said Will Stein. Is this Dante Moore's first year in that system, or was it?
Yeah,
I'm about to say that because look,
the Corian Moore.
Oh, I meant Dante Moore. My bad. The quarterback.
Nah, he was there last year. I
was about to say that him being able to translate that quickly speaks volumes about the offensive coordinator as well.
Yeah,
because you got to be able to communicate that. All righty, let's get out. Do the A&M. Whoa! We got one more prediction to do. My bad. I got a little premature. Look at this. Oh my God! LSU's 106 in points, 103rd in total yards, 124th in rush yards. Keep in mind, there's 144 FBS teams, everybody. Oh, Lord. All right, these are the odds. LSU is underdog by a landslide, 10-point spread. I wouldn't take it. I'd stay far away from it. I can't lie to you, though. I think Oklahoma could be the easiest leg of the year. And look, I like to say stuff like that because sometimes the football gods are doing this to me, G. Sometimes they listen. They're like, oh, yeah, I bet. You think it's easy? Cool, watch this. So maybe, just maybe, I juju LSU into winning. So hopefully the LSU fans like to hear that. Sometimes they don't like when I fade them. We're telling them what they don't want to hear. Remember, we just were talking about that. This time, though, it could work out in your favor. This is the injury report. Out, Braylon Moore, Ori Williams, Garrett Nussfire, Nick Anderson, and Aaron Anderson. Probable, which is crazy, Whit Weeks, Jakeem Jackson, Tyree Adams. Didn't they just say Whit Weeks broke his ankle? How the hell is he probable? This dude, bro, ain't nothing Whit Weeks can't do. I don't even know what the hell he's doing.
You gonna shoot him up?
Like, bro.
You gonna shoot him up?
God. This is something that, like, I feel like it's because he wants to play with the brothers, has to be 100%. I don't know. If so, shout out. That's one of the most loyal teammates I've ever seen, or just family members at all. Like I said, though, I'm fading LSU. I don't even got that many keys, bro. Like, I have a couple of them written down. Leave it all out there, like you said. Test the young depth. And please, Lord, just be efficient in the red zone. That's it. That's all I got to say. Don't do the 2 and 14 for third downs, 0 and 3 on fourth downs. It'll happen. I'm sure you're going to have a turnover or whatever, but I don't know. If we could somehow, some way score the 25 points and not have the worst offense since 1978, I'd be a little bit excited. How you feeling now? I know, heartbreaking. I don't even know how I can get that out of my mouth.
That Oklahoma defense is nasty.
Yeah.
Talked about it on Monday. They are really good at all three levels. The D-line, the linebackers, the secondary. They violent. They play with swag. Man, they punch you in the mouth. I think LSU O-line gonna struggle a lot against Oklahoma's front, bro. I think it's gonna be tough on them. You know, there's already a tough environment with that crowd. The only thing I think LSU has in their favor, and I talked about it on Monday, right? They have nothing to lose. Oklahoma has all the pressure on them. They lose this game, they probably don't make the college playoff. That's pretty certain.
Yep.
And like I was saying, the whole week I'd have been putting spoiler alert all around the building if I was Frank Wilson. I think they're gonna be going for it on fourth down. I think you're gonna see a bunch of trick plays. I think you're gonna see a bunch of formations you've never seen from LSU. They're gonna do a lot of different things in this game that Oklahoma will not be able to will not have seen that they could game plan for. And that's scary when you playing against a team that ain't got nothing to lose, bro. And you got everything to lose. So although I think Oklahoma finds a way to win this game, I think it's a close one. I think it's a grinded out, ugly game. I think Blake's defense is gonna play really good. I think they're gonna have to create turnovers like they've been doing in the past couple weeks to make sure this game is close. But I got Oklahoma winning it in a close one, bro. I got them winning 24-20.
24-20. I'll give them 21-10. That's what I'm gonna think.
Yeah.
I can't lie. We got JTL in the chat talking about fade JV. Hey, buddy, if you faded JV last week, you would have went 0 for 3. So good luck. Good luck. Good luck. Let's go into the next game. Texas A&M, Texas. This one feels like a no-brainer, but Arch Manning could put a Superman cape on. I'm gonna go with Texas A&M. I like it at -142. I know they're on the road. It's just been a crazy season, and if you finish this out, you go undefeated, dog. So that's crazy. I mean, look, I think they locked their seeding in for the SEC title game, regardless of what happens. I like the Aggies. I like their defense.
I think complacency is setting in A&M. I think it's setting in. I think they're getting comfortable, right? You're undefeated, right? You're coming off the Thanksgiving break, right? You ate a lot of yams, you ate a lot of turkey, right? Some of y'all ate a little too much of pecan candy, pecan pie, cheesecake, right? Your routine was messed up. On the road, Texas win this game, they get in the college team, they get in the college playoff, bro. Arch Manning, it has an opportunity to be on that stage. Everybody gonna have to retract what they said about Arch Manning at the beginning of the season. I think Texas finds a way to get it done. I think they win this game, bro. I think it's a shootout. I think it's 31-35. Texas.
And Arch Manning really would be able to have an opportunity to correct the doubt or to just right his wrongs, if you will. Because if you want my 100% honesty, Mr. Cash Howell and all this defensive presence at A&M got, that's why I'm worried. Because I think Arch Manning might see a little bit of ghost out there. I don't know.
I got Texas, bro. I think Texas gonna pull it off today. I really do. Because I think they ranked 16, right?
Something right around there.
Yeah, I think they ranked 16.
Yeah, they're on the brink.
Yeah, they got 3 losses, right? I think they probably gonna be the only team that get in with 3 losses if they win this game.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. I saw a tweet about somebody talking about their Thanksgiving experience. They were saying it was a Texas fan saying, "Thanks, Sark. You got 3 losses on the year. A&M's undefeated." They're talking too much shit at Thanksgiving. All his A&M fans and the family was just letting him hear it. That would be a redemption moment for my guy. I don't know, man.
And look, Texas defense is one of the best defenses in the country. I don't know if people realize that. Just because they got 3 losses.
Yeah, Colin Simmons is a dog.
Yeah, I mean, the whole defense loaded. They loaded.
Yeah. My favorite, Colin Simmons. I love him every time I see him. It hurts my soul. Malik Muhammad, pretty cool. I had him in CFB. Do they have
Anthony Hill, the linebacker? He's really good. They got some studs on that side of the ball, bro. The offense has been the one that's been holding that team back this year. It's been the offense. When they played Ohio State, they held Ohio State to 14 points.
Ryan Wingo dropped the ball in a potential game.
Yeah, on a game time drive. Yeah, they lost 14-7, bro. So I think Marcel Reed gonna have a tough day today against that defense. So I really believe that Texas pulls it off and gets into the playoffs with 3 losses.
All right, a little bit of value here for the first pick. I got value here in the second pick. I can't lie to you. +124 on Vandy. I'm gonna just give you my pick straight up outright. Battle of Tennessee. I like Pavia right here. I like to take a few weeks ago because I feel like that was a sleeper. I can't lie to you. And you're watching Pavia climb up the boards after the 500 total yard.
Give me my credit, man. Give me my credit, man. Come on, man.
Here the flowers go right here, bro. Because I ain't gonna lie, I saw 2 or 3 comments in the chat talking about what the hell? What are you talking about? This is talking facts right now. I can't lie to you. Because if he wins this game, Vandy's 10-2. They go to the playoffs, and I think Pavia is going to be a finalist. I can't lie to you. I don't know. I'm going to ride with Vandy in this situation. I know it's nailing. I know it's rowdy. They are on the road, but it's only like a 2.5 to 3 hour drive, bro. They probably got the comfort of their own home for the majority of the week. I'm going Vandy, man. I got to. I can't fade him. I faded him one time. It pissed me off, and I'll never do it again. Like Nick Saban said. Yeah,
I'm looking forward to this game, bro. I like watching Tennessee. I love watching Josh Heupel's offense. I like their receiving core. And I like watching Diego Pavia. I talked about him being a Heisman Trophy winner, weeks ago. People that's watching the stream, go back and look at. I don't know what episode it was, but this is probably what about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, because
When I was
Marcel
saying,
was still
yeah,
third, and then
yeah,
it's shifted, man.
and my whole argument was, if you look at how Diego Pavia has been playing, he been balling. He been putting the team on his back. They defense been shitting the bed. They defense couldn't get stops, right? This dude lead the team in rushing. I think he had like 700 some yards rushing, like 7 touchdowns, right? He got a 70% completion rate. He's thrown for like 23 touchdowns and like 5 picks. Bro, he been balling. He been balling. And he's had some Heisman moments, right? I think Vanderbilt wins this game. I think they win this game. I think it's a close one. I think Diego Pavia has another Heisman moment, and this solidifies him as this year's Heisman Trophy winner. I'm going to go Vandy 27-23.
If Pavia wins the Heisman, where do you think he gets drafted? Like, can he first round instantly?
I don't see it. He's a really, 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 really good college football player.
Wait, would this be the first Heisman? Would this be the first Heisman not taken in the first round?
No, Danny Wolfer won the Heisman Trophy at Florida years ago. You probably was in your Pampers by then, but yeah, he was a Heisman Trophy winner. He got drafted like 5th or 6th round by the Saints. They've had a bunch of Heisman Trophy winners that didn't go first round. So, some guys is just, it doesn't translate. And I'm not saying he can't play in the NFL, but some of the things that he do that's off script, that's what makes him special. That's what makes him hard to defend in college. You're not going to get away with that in the NFL. You're not going to get away with running to the right, running to the left, spinning, hitting the juke button, and then throwing it 50 yards down the field for a touchdown. Stiff arming linebackers, and you're not going to do that against grown men in the league. So, you feel me? So
that's no 18-year-old freshman to bully.
Yeah, that's what. And look, yeah, and we got to remember, Pavia been in college like 7 years, 6 years, 7, I think 6 or 7 years. Dude, I want to say he like 26. So, put that in perspective.
Got a lot of experience, man.
But I ain't hating on him. I like Pavia. Yeah. I like him.
Hey, if I could play 7 years of college football, sign me up. Sign me up. All right, Egg Bowl, last one. And I know that they say plus 240. I don't know what the hell Bleacher Report was doing this morning. It's minus 240. Let's be obvious here. 7-point spread. Very close odds, though. There's a little bit of emotional tie here. Obviously, Jeff Levy, offensive coordinator and quarterback coach at Ole Miss, gets hired to Mississippi State. They are on the road in Stark Vegas. Gee, there will be cowbells. There's obviously a distraction. I don't know what to do. My gut tells me I want to do something wild. I think I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to take Mississippi State. I know their record sucks. I know. Listen, everybody's going to be like, damn, wait, hold on. Let me pop up the guy that said fade JV because he's going to have a hell of a time with this one. Fade JV. Look, I just feel like there's been a lot on their mind. You had a great point with the Thanksgiving routine because everybody, look, my routine's changing. We on the road, bro. I don't even got my full setup, right? Our routine's changing. We at 10 o'clock, 10:45. We early. Early bird getting the worm. However, I just don't know how I'm feeling about Ole Miss staying focused this whole entire week. Maybe I'm making something out of nothing. It maybe not be a big deal. I'm gonna go with plus 240 and see if I could have a nice little internet immortality moment. It could be good, could be bad. I'm gonna throw it out there. Mississippi State might win today. I'm gonna take them, taking the money line. That's my pick. I'm putting my record on the line. I gotta make up that distance, bro. Got to.
I don't blame you, bro. When you talk about John Levy, the head coach at Mississippi State, he comes from under Lane Kiffin. His offense is the same offense Lane Kiffin is running at Ole Miss. It's very similar. So that's the advantage for Levy, right? He's going to be able to help that defense out and let them know when they come out in certain things and tendency-wise what Lane is thinking, what he likes to do. Now, like, you still got to go out there and execute it. But I think that's an advantage for John Levy. Also, this ain't your typical Mississippi State team that you've been watching in the past where, when you see them on the schedule, you just know you about to win by 21 or more, right? If you look at Mississippi State this year, I want to say that it's only One game they got blew out, and that was against Missouri. I think Missouri the only team that blew them out. Other games they lost, bro. It was close games. They went overtime with, was it A&M? It was somebody good. They went overtime with and lost.
I think
They upset it. They upset it. Number 12, Arizona State. Blake Shapen, who's a boot boy, by the way, the quarterback. He's been playing really good this year. The receivers, Thompson and Evans, they are really good. They got a two-headed monster at running back with Booth and I forgot the other kid name, but their offense is pretty efficient, right? Levy calls the game really, really good. You at home, it's a rival.
Yep.
You got a chance to spoil a season.
Big
It's
time.
the same situation with LSU and Oklahoma, bro. Mississippi State don't have nothing to lose. Ole Miss has everything to lose. And I also think that if Ole Miss does lose this game, it makes it easier for Lane to walk out the door. So I'm with you, bro. I'm going with Mississippi State on the upset, bro. I think they win this game 28-25.
I looked it up. They went to overtime with Tennessee. Texas
Texas
only lost by 3 to Arkansas.
Mm-hmm. They upset at Arizona State.
Yep. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah, this ain't that bad. Cause like I know the matchups.
They're not bad, bro. I watch Mississippi State this year. They're not bad, bro. They're a solid team. They just don't have top tier talent, top to bottom on that roster, bro. But like I said, the quarterback playing good. They got the two receivers, Evans and Thompson, the transfer from Oklahoma, right? The two running backs, I like them. Let me know how to call, please. And like I said, he's gonna have a slight advantage because he knows Lane's system.
Yep.
So he's gonna know tendencies. He gonna be able to have that defense in a situation to know what's coming in a sense. Again, it's easier said than done. You still gotta go out there and execute it, and you gotta have the players to be able to do it. But I think they're gonna be well prepared for this game on the day, bro.
Before we get out of here, G, I want to react to this chat. Everybody in the chat jumping around saying that
man, read all these comments, man. Read them all. Let's go.
Let's go. Jump in the water, man. Straight in the water.
Let's go. Let me jump on the porch.
Mr. Reporter Zach, I can't pronounce his last name. Zach A. Just put out Lane's not coming to Florida. They're trying to say it's LSU and Ole Miss. And then this guy said, in recent days, sources say Kiffin's erratic communication and behaviors led to Florida thinking he's more interested in other options. And then lastly, this is another interesting comment. Don't know if it's true or not. Don't quote me. Our guy Anthony is saying that the Florida AD was at the Egg Bowl. So I don't know how the hell that's happening. But
that's strictly.
I want to – I mean, look, I'm not trying to say that like I have a definitive answer or not. I didn't think that I thought he was going to decide between LSU and Ole Miss. And you said at the beginning of the show, Summerall's got a lot of lean toward Florida. So I mean, like this kind of felt obvious. What do you?
Yeah, I heard it. I heard it's done. I heard John Summerall to Florida is done. That's what I heard. Like the only way it doesn't happen is if Lane just changes his mind and go to Florida. So that's just what I'm hearing, bro. From some pretty credible sources that the John Summerall to Florida is done. Now this still the land of the wild, wild west, so things could change. But I'm hearing John Summerall to Florida is a done deal, bro.
Interesting. Before we get out of here, I gotta whisper through the grapevine, G. I think we might be live tomorrow. Afternoon, man.
Yeah.
Everybody, y'all stay tuned, man. I don't know when it's gonna happen, but y'all know the minute that news drops, y'all can count on these two. Count on these two, man. We're going to be right here reacting to the news. Will it be Lane Kiffin? Will it not be? I don't know, man. Only time will tell. We got about 24 hours, though. It's going to be
if Lane decides to stay at Ole Miss or some kind of way he ends up going to Florida, bro, LSU really going to be scrambling around trying to figure out who the next head coach is going to be.
Like a chicken.
I really think it's going to turn into a shit show.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be... Not only will this potentially turn to a shit show, but also by that same token, it could turn to a shit show if you turn somebody into the highest paid head coach and have to buy him out as well. So whatever happens in this situation, it has to be calculated. It has to be a careful decision. Hopefully my guy Virgil Berry is going to make the smart
LSU fans, do not put yourself on suicide watch if Lane doesn't come. It's not that big of a deal.
Nope.
Don't go off yourself, right? Don't go drink yourself into a coma, right? it's gonna be all right.
Hit the brakes, everybody. Hit the brakes. LSU won't be able to manage at least 8 wins, man. I feel like you can make us head coach, bro. You can make us head coach right here. I'll be damn offensive coordinator, whatever. We can find a defensive coordinator. Shit, you can wear 2 caps, head coach, defensive coordinator, whatever you want, bro. I think we can squeeze out at least. We can go 500, man. Come on. You can take your CFB playbook and then I can try to run some cheese. I'm gonna look up some YouTube RPOs. I'm gonna see what does G-Sportz use in CFB. See if they got a video on that yet. Come on, about to league it. All right, guys. Appreciate everybody for tuning in with us. In about 8 minutes, Lane Kiffin will kick off his last game, potentially with Ole Miss. Last game of the season, though. So I don't know. Y'all tune in. Y'all
don't tell it the Ole Miss fans, boy. They gonna lose their mind. Boy, I know they got some drunk. I know they got some drunk ass people in that stadium right now, saying all kind of shit. Lord, so, I can't wait to see the signs.
Yeah, I'm about to ask this with the Egg Bowl. What are the odds that they egg his ass? Can't bring eggs in the stadium.
I can see Lane laughing at somebody they egging. He'll think that shit funny. He'll probably catch that bitch and throw it back.
Yeah,
or crack it on his head.
Scramble it.
Like, crack it on his head. Like, yeah, woo! Like that's our strange
we trust, man. 100%. I don't know, bro. I don't know what's gonna happen. I think you can flip a coin and you got a better chance of figuring it out at this point. It's 50-50, man. It's 50-50. We'll be here tomorrow breaking it down, though. I ain't gonna lie to you. Somebody, one more. The guy that said Fade JV said, why has G not gotten a spot in the recruiting department yet? Come on, we gotta start it up, man. Let's go.
Hey,
the recruiting director.
Hey, as crazy you say that, I've been offered a lot of jobs in the last 3 or 4 years about coming into player personnel and in the recruiting departments at a couple universities, man. That's crazy you say that.
That's fire. Hey, bro, come on. We're gonna see it happen.
I like what I do, though, man. I like what I do, man. I like doing things on my own terms.
Exactly. Yeah, that freedom, that independence, man.
You did.
INDEPENDET. All right. We ain't having a spelling bee no more. I'm out of here, dog. One more time, Damon Wilson. Appreciate that 5 ball. Come on, man. Appreciate that, dog. We getting out of here. Hopefully, we got some good news for you tomorrow. I don't know, though. Don't hold your breath. Appreciate your time, G. Appreciate everybody. Hit that like and get out of here.